Welcome to another episode of Toxic Sarcasm Podcast. We got myself and, of course, Rockstar down in sunny FLA.
Right. Well, it's not too sunny today, but anyway.
Not too sunny. We got a special guest on the show here. You want to go by your gamer tag or?
You can say my first name. Yeah.
So we got Theron here, and what we're going to talk about today is it's actually an article that's went viral. Do men or women cheat more? And when I say cheat, I mean everything, not just sex. Talking to, going out, hanging out with an ex-boyfriend, sending nude photos, anything.
There's else. A lot that goes into cheating, and
so infidelity.
And ladies, look at this handsome guy. So if you're up in Ohio and Elyria, Cleveland area, even though he says he has a girlfriend, just
shit.
Keep your options open.
Hey, they say this guy he says black guys don't cheat.
Oh, do they?
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Wait. Say that again.
No, oh, yes, I have. Yeah.
Fresh says black guys don't cheat.
Fresh and fit guys don't.
So let's start one at a time, and we'll just give our opinions on who we think more and why. And you're the guest. Go ahead. You can go first. Who do you think cheats more? Who's more infidelity, men or women? And why do you think?
Well, we were talking about it a little bit before we started, and when you first said it, I only sectioned it off to sex. I was thinking like just sex. So in that case, I thought it was probably guys, because I don't know, something about women don't have the same sort of hunger possibly as guys all the time. Not all women, at least, and don't chase it as much. It doesn't seem like a lot of it comes to them. But if we're just talking infidelity, I think women definitely like text old boyfriends back and like hang out with them and stuff like that. I got a buddy I work with, and we both kind of got into relationships around the same time. And we talk about our girls and stuff like that together. And he was saying that his girl, she's a hairdresser, that she was going to be cutting her ex's hair. And like women do weird stuff like that sometimes, where they like just try to test you and see like how much you're going to react to something or whatever like that. I hate that bullshit. But yeah, stuff like that. I think they're way more willing to do, way more think it's okay for them to do, but it's a double standard. Like you're not allowed to do it if you're in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I would agree. So you said you think it's women?
Yeah, women for sure. Now, yeah, I've changed my opinion.
So do you think women all around just cheat more, or do you think it's more the sex or more of like the sending nudes and sexting?
Definitely sending more nudes and sexting, I think, than that.
Now, but where do you draw that? Where do you draw the line of? And that's what we were talking about before the show, of what part of those women, and women, chicks, girls, I don't know what you want me to call you. I have a scenario for every type of woman and every type of girl, so I can call it depends on who you are. But anyway, you've got to keep that separate because everybody has a second job. So what if you're dating a woman, girl, whoever, and you have a girl, say you have a girlfriend, how may I ask how long you've been with her?
It's still new. It's a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my opinion would be that you be very apprehensive of, until you find out more about her, of a lot of these girls have boyfriends and then they do this job, and this is what we were talking about on earlier shows. You should tell somebody you're with, whether you meet them out on a first date. I'm not saying you have to spiel everything out on the first date, but if you go out on a first date and you think and you continue that, I think within the next 2 or 3 dates, you should be like, just want to let you know, I'm an escort, or
right, yeah,
I'm this or that, or whatever. just so you know how to treat her.
Yeah,
Because
no,
if
I
you
get
treated
that. I
that's
mean, as
two
far
different
as like
things.
what was going on, or if like our exclusivity or whatever like that, like this is the first relationship I kind of let it go to that first and let her ask and stuff like that. I heard other people say that before, that you let it go for a minute. I wasn't like just so forthcoming necessarily about what was going on, but I never lied about anything. Anytime she wanted to ask or brought it up or something like that, I was honest. I'm talking to somebody else right now at the same time I'm talking to you or whatever like that before we started officially dating. Or whatever. But yeah, no, and I
We're
think
not officially dating, just to make that.
yes, yeah, no, you're out of my league.
You want to scoot over this way a little bit
Yeah.
more so you're in the camera? All right, perfect.
But yeah, no, I think it should. I think if nowadays with like I said, it's just my opinion. But nowadays with social media involved, and we've had a lot of conversations with this and podcasts on this, and I think because you're not getting that when you talk online with somebody, and I saw this the other day, when you're not if you're talking online with somebody, you're not getting that electricity. You're not getting that. You're not getting that feeling. You're not getting their real response. You're seeing it all over, video and this and that, and you can't get their vibes. You can't do that. So until you meet in person, and like I said, I don't think anybody needs to spill anything out on the first date, but after a couple, 2, 3, if you're going to move this forward, then within the first month, everything should come out to be, hey, I'm this,
Right.
and do we want to move forward or not? Just stop wasting people's time.
Yeah, I wasn't about
That's what has to come down to social media, as far as my opinion, is stop wasting people's time. If you want to meet up with somebody, tell them who you are and move forward or don't.
Right.
Okay, so let's go on to you. What do you think? Who do you think cheats more, men or women, and why?
I think
from your experiences.
I mean, men are dogs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, I mean, but with the culture nowadays and the way things are going, I would have to say it's at least 50-50. I don't think I could say one's more than the other, other than you have to take out the factor of escorts and all that stuff, which doesn't count. But I think it's because the tables have turned on women, and now men are treating women how women have always treated men. I think it used to be men was more. And now I think it's at least 50-50. That's the best I can come up with just my
50-50. Yeah.
I think it's probably 50-50. Until we get statistics of people that actually, maybe we could do a survey and throw a survey up and
well, yeah, we should do our own survey. I've done personal surveys since I was able to date, and then there's also quite a few surveys that I've looked through, and so I'll give you my opinion on this. So I used to think it was men. If you would have caught me in my 20s, I would have said, hey, I think guys, you hear guys are cheating all the time. Guys are cheating. I was an idiot and I didn't cheat. So, I thought, it's guys. Until the first girl that cheated on me, she hit it very well. Very, very well. And
ruined it all.
That kind of turned me into the villain that I am today. I went from
that's what I'm saying.
I went from Batman to Joker like that. And then the older I got, the more and more I started to experience and seeing it was actually more females that I saw cheating. A bunch of my guy friends would say, us guys, we tell each other the truth. We're like, hey, you're fat, dude. That shirt looks like shit. So a bunch of my guy friends were like, hey, man, I love her. I would never cheat on her. I ain't doing nothing. I would even, some of my guy friends, I'd be like, hey, man, I got another girl. I can't be around her. I'm faithful to my woman. So I started seeing more and more of that, more men being faithful and less women being faithful. So I was like,
hey, but let me, and I don't want to interrupt, but I am. But that comes into emotions. I thought women had emotions to be able to just be with another guy. Yeah. So has that fallen out the window?
So let's move into this study here. I'll go and throw the screen up, and this will answer your question. So as of, let's see, the 23rd, as of August 23rd, this just came out from the New York Post. And it actually shows that what we've all been talking about here. Let's see if I can get this up there. Can you see that on your end?
Yeah.
That article. Okay, so it says here, women are more likely to cheat than men. And it actually goes through, and I'll just read you some of this here so you don't have to be bored with the small print. But it actually goes through and says that through several studies they've done in relationships, I browsed through it a little bit, so I'll give you the spark notes. They had these interviews, and these are coming from therapists and all kinds of different things. So they found out that most of the women that were coming in, they were surveying or, were coming in for whatever, they were more and more started to say, I'm being unfaithful to my partner. And through all the interviews and everything, they found out that women now are switching. And now, of course, we always talk about this is what women say, but is it really what they feel? Women are saying now that they don't need emotional connection to be able to sleep around. So, but like we say, we had a conversation earlier. I don't think a lot of women actually know what they want. You can sound misogynistic if you want,
and call me chauvinist, but I think they need to be told what they want.
There you go. Yeah, it's like, how many times have you argued with a girlfriend about where you're going to go eat for lunch?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Just make a decision.
No, I had this conversation with my girl the other day, just that, like, trying to explain, like, did she understand the concept of something that she would be attracted to that she doesn't know that she's attracted to? Like, she's had a lot of previous guys that didn't treat her too good and stuff like that, and I come along, I treat her a little bit better, stuff like that. And it's like, I don't look at it as me being like, this award-winning guy or anything like that, but I'm just doing what I do. I'm doing being me. But because she was probably attracted and might still be attracted to that bad guy, bad boy, whatever, like that kind of character, she was always going for those guys and didn't care about the stuff that came with it, regardless of what she was actually like conscious about. Like it was subconsciously, she was attracted to those guys, but consciously she didn't like that.
And that's like we talk about on all of our shows. All of the women go for the bad guys in their early age. And it's like, I'll have a bunch of them. They tell me, they'll say, well, I knew he wasn't good for me, but I still did it. I still did it. Like I told you the other day.
Then when you find the bad guy that's actually has both sides and and has their shit together and can be a good guy, you should respect that. That's what you should be looking for, ladies. Yeah. You have the bad guy that you can be, crazy and wild with at times. And then you have the guy that is responsible and has their shit together and can treat you right at the same time. That's what you're missing, and that's what you need to find. And when you find it, you better snatch it because there aren't too many out there.
I think it's going to be more like an 80-20. You got to be 80% good and then 20% bad. Or not really bad, but more like a James Bond type, hey, I don't.
That's not 80-20. Maybe 60-40.
Yeah, maybe. It's all gonna differ on who you're with.
It increases.
Yeah, how much they can handle.
Yeah,
be as bad as you want, but
so let me ask you this: in this article, why do you think the women said they are cheating more? What do you think the reasoning was? Well, go ahead now.
because of.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead first. What do you think the reasoning is? They said they were cheating.
I think the power roles have kind of switched a little bit with dating, where a lot of guys, me included, have fell into being this like Disney-like character of a boyfriend. And simp. Yes, there we go.
Red pill.
But in doing that, it's like it's just limited us in our ability to like kind of control the relationship sometimes and control the aspect of like who is the chasee and the chaser. I think that's like super important, and it like kind of makes me feel good or not good sometimes, depending on like if I trust that person. Like if I'm the chasee, I don't feel as bad or as insecure about like that person possibly cheating on me as I would be the chaser. So yeah, I think women are not as much. I mean, they're not chasing guys. They don't really chase to begin with, but some of them do. I feel like my girl seems like she's a little bit more chasing me than I'm chasing her.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah, definitely. It takes off so much stress in a relationship compared to like other things. I was total simp sort of guy trying to be, Twitter boyfriend, Instagram boyfriend, do all the stuff girls want to see and post on all that shit. But it didn't work. I'm just myself now. I'm a little bit of assertive too, more assertive of a guy now. And it works for me.
You know what? I'll give you a tip real quick on the whole trying to figure out lunch. The next time you guys are arguing about it, say, where do you think I'm going to take you? And wherever she says, fucking go there.
Okay.
That's it.
Just go there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand. And this is what, and you and I were talking about this earlier. Why do conversations have to be so damn difficult? Ask a question.
Yeah.
Answer it.
Yes.
Don't give me, oh, well, what about, I'm
you
not
ever notice how many females, like the ones that we talk to on here and anywhere, they always dance around the question.
Yes.
They
that's
can't
what I'm saying.
Straight to the answer. Right.
Just answer the freaking question.
Right.
I don't want to sit here and ride a merry-go-round before we go to dinner.
Yeah. You can live another life and fuck somebody else, but you can't think about a hypothetical. Like, what about a hypothetical? Like, how many hypotheticals you ask a girl and they can't get through like just a simple question like that? Like, put yourself.
You can't get through a conversation, let alone a question.
Yeah. Yeah. They start talking about astrology signs and their crystals.
God, yes.
I got my crystal necklace on today. I'm lucky.
Yeah, I had to make her put down some of those cards. What are those?
Tarot?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I made her put those down one day when we.
Okay, so what was the extension of that question? We were going around with it.
Why do you think these women are cheating more now? What do you think?
I think because they're outed more. I think because of the cameras, the phones with the cameras, the dash cams,
You think that's why they're being caught
without video?
You think that's why they're being caught cheating more? Is that what you're saying?
I think they're being caught cheated more. I don't think they're admitting they're being cheated more or cheating more. I think they're being caught more because of that reason.
Okay, so the girls that they interviewed and said that they actually cheated and they're cheating more than before. What do you think the reason is when they were asked why they did it?
Why they did it?
Yeah. Because they almost all have the same response. And I actually talked about this several times.
Because I thought I could.
It's the same reason. It's the same number one reason that they get divorced. So we know 80% of divorces are initiated by women now. And the top reason that they say they got the divorce was because they just didn't feel like it anymore. They got bored.
Bored.
Yeah. Bored is the top reason.
And that's why in some of our previous podcasts that we talked about that, and it's like you have to keep some kind of drama in it as long as it's respectful drama.
Right.
You got to keep the relationship moving. You got to keep something into it to to keep it interesting. But I don't know how many times, and this is kind of weird, but I don't know how many times I've told my parents, I said, you guys are the last generation that ever seriously had a relationship, stayed together, and worked things out if there was a problem. Everything went to hell once social media came about.
That's probably it. Yeah. And then like we talked about not too long ago, you see a lot of the women now, not so much grandparents, but like the mothers and aunts. They're not telling
taking care of their nephews, nieces, kids.
Yeah, but and then they're telling those nephews and nieces men are garbage, men are trash.
Yeah,
use them and abuse them, throw them to the side
because they won't let the father. And I'm not saying this is in all situations, and I'm sure there are certain circumstances, but
right.
you can't be. You've got to be one of those parents that have to uprise your kid and tell them, hey, if he is a good dad, your dad loves you, your dad's a good dad. But it seems like anymore, everybody's all these women are downgrading men,
right?
And then we get the no fathers in their kids' relationship. If people would just take their feelings out of it and put in more feelings of those bad feelings into their kids' feelings, maybe you'd be better off.
Well, you see a lot of these modern women, and we've seen news stories and TikToks and everything. Their first thought isn't with the children. It's to get child support. And then you see they argue, they don't let the fathers around, to see the kids. Yep. But they get their child support, and then they leave their kids off with their grandparents or their mom, and they go out and party and, all that stuff we've talked about. So, and then what do you think is going to spawn from that single mom doing that? Her daughter, if she has a daughter, she's going to go and be another single mom, and the cycle's just going to continue.
Did you guys see?
Do you have kids?
No, none that I know about.
He's still a kid. He don't have kids. What were you saying?
Did you guys see the TikTok or like the video of the girl who was trying to like shame her baby dad because he only brought food for his son and not her like 3 other kids?
I did see that.
We talked about that.
Yeah. We talked about that in one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. But
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, obviously, I don't want to see any kid ever go hungry, but on the other hand, you're probably the girl is probably getting child support from 2-3 different guys if she's getting it. But if she's getting it with the different babies, then she should be getting child support from that other baby daddy. And if he's taking care of his responsibility, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it.
No,
he's taking care of his responsibility. How somebody other interpretates it, then that's up to them.
Right. Yeah. And had it been like, she coming from a more like, I don't know, like not a negative perspective. She was trying to shame him. She was trying to shame him for like something that wasn't his responsibility. And he like maybe out of the kindness of his heart, he would have done that or something like that. That'd be one thing, but for it to be expected is a little ridiculous.
You know what I found comical about that is she got online and recorded it and thought she was going to get all these supporters. And she ended up getting a bunch of negative comments and hate. Yeah. It just blew up in her face. And it was like,
I'm sure it did. And it should have. I mean, you can't down the guy for taking care of his kid, but
we always talk about everyone we interview when we ask them, what do you think the main problem with modern dating is? They always have like the same response. I'll ask you real quick. If you had to sum it up in one word, what would you say the main problem with modern dating is?
It's fake.
That's not real. That's a good one.
What was it?
He said they're fake.
It's everybody's posting their highlights.
The chicks are you talking about the chicks are fake, or there's a lot of bots, or
no, everybody's fake. Dudes and chicks just posting their highlights, the things about themselves that are only like, enticing. Everybody, these are just internet billboards for yourselves where you're trying to sell yourself to somebody. And I'm not really
just
crazy
out to get whatever you can get out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my opinion.
You were saying it before. You can't really make that sort of connection with somebody or feel them out and stuff like that. And I felt that way. Like right before I was about to get off Hinge and all these other dating apps and stuff like that. It was for the reason that I wanted what I thought love was supposed to be. I wanted like, meet somebody out somewhere or whatever like that, and find a connection with somebody who would be like we would just meet each other. It wouldn't just be something so spontaneous from um as simple as like, the internet, matching with somebody on there. But like right as I was, about to delete stuff, I meet this girl, and we hit it
Yeah.
off, but it really wasn't too good of a connection until we had got to know each other, hung out a few times, went over each other's houses and stuff like that. It was a better experience after that, but it is really hard to make that connection.
So a lot of people that we interview will say social media is the main
Mm.
problem, and which is good, bad. I think most of it is bad. I do agree with social media on that because we're talking about cheating here. Who cheats the most? I think that the integration of Instagram, all these dating sites and everything has made it way, way easier for women to cheat.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it was easier for them before.
Well, not only to cheat, but to manipulate people.
When I think they've been doing all that before. We just
not as bad as it's gotten.
I honestly just don't think we see
it's getting. Well, and that's probably true too. But now that the more people are on, the more we're seeing it, and it's getting and they've had this all over the news too. Is what these social media sites are about is, and like we've talked about, is just selling themselves to a lot of. Okay, here I'm going to go somewhere. There was a thing today that said they talked about.
You want me to play you want to play go into the dream world?
Yeah. No, this is real. So remember we asked about salaries, and we talked about why women may not make the salary that a guy makes. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it came up on the news today, and
the wage gap that we were talking about.
The wage gap of men and women.
Yes.
Well, it's because women choose to stay home, not downgrading. If you have a family, and then somebody else came up and said, we had a family, she raised our 3 kids, she was the this, that, or that. Well, that takes away from the wage gap in the men and women's salary. Not saying one way's right or wrong, but it takes the wage gap away. And yes, women make less money than guys. And it's because women do a very important job of the household. And then we go back to years and years and years ago when we talked about this stuff and purity and all that stuff. Whether you want to look at it that way, or whether you hire a nanny to take care of your kids, or whether you hire you have enough money to hire a butler and a this and that to pick your kids up from school and take them, then you can't compare wage gap to wage gap. Because if that woman's staying home raising a family how you want it raised, that shouldn't count against the wage gap. That's just my opinion.
So yeah, they did several studies on this, and we talked about one. They did one specifically at Google, right? And they got the how much everyone was paid at Google, men and women. And in a nutshell, the women made more than the men did at Google, right? So that's just one statistic they did. So if you look into it further, there actually is no wage gap with men and women anymore. Women are actually women are actually starting to earn more than men. But the problem where they still think there's a wage gap is because women do not take the dangerous jobs that make money, construction, plumbers, things like that. When's the last time?
How many men are in the military versus women?
Yeah, you don't make that much money in the military.
Not that but there's multi-millions of people in the military.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, they're not taking the difficult jobs like that. And then on top of it, they're also not working overtime.
That was the other thing.
Yes.
That was the other thing they said was, oh, well, the women they're going to the games and the after our parent teacher conference and taking them to soccer and doing this and doing that, and they're not working. They're not staying after working 20 hours a day, 5 days a week versus guys.
Well, I
doing
can
that.
understand if you have children.
Well, that's what I was saying. You can't count that against the wage gap when
No, you shouldn't be able to include that.
right.
The stats that I looked were just single women, that were career driven. They didn't have children. They said they were going to focus on their career versus the family, and they were going to get a family later. Well, the majority of these women are in their late 30s, early 40s. So their eggs are drying up. And that was a bad idea to focus on your career, because now,
In the beginning.
yes, now their pool for them to find men is shrinking,
Mhm.
because who's going to go? They want these men that make 6 figures, 6 feet tall.
Now I
60%
want to
of the
find a
pants,
guy that
six
makes
pack,
6 figures when I've had a few kids.
600 guys, and you're 42, and now you want this unicorn.
Mhm.
You want the quarterback for the Patriots or something to come into your life and sweep you off your feet. And when he can get a 22-year-old, and it's like, come back to reality, please.
Mhm.
And to speak on that real quick, I said 42. It's funny because actually the most depressed demographic right now is women in their early 40s, 40 to 42, that chose career over family. That's the most sad demographic. So
if you're gonna, and now I it's, and because it's different from back in the day, they used to, have. When we grew up, our parents had kids early, right out of high school, and same with me. I had, a lot of people I went to high school had kids right out of house, and then it changed, and then it went back, and now it's career before kids. And like you're saying, it's gotten to the point now where women can't have kids because shit's dried up, and you can't find a man because you let it all go. And then again, like you said, guys are 40 years old, 50 years old are finding 20, 30-year-old girls.
Right. If
they want a man that's older that has their shit together.
Right. Exactly. That's what, a lot of those girls in their 20s, that's what they do. They're going for those older guys. But, now that this thing comes out, it was always a big debate. Do men cheat more? Do women cheat more? And consistently throughout years, they've always said men are the cheaters. Men are the cheaters. I'm starting to think that women were they started that in a big sewing circle. They're like, let's push this rumor so that we don't get caught.
Let's push this narrative.
Yes.
They had narratives back then too. Don't worry.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, though, I think we're just noticing it more now with the cameras and social media. And a lot of these women are exposing themselves on social media. How many women do you see on TikTok on a daily basis going on and saying, oh, I was with my husband, I cheated last night, or anything like that? One woman said she cheats all the time and she's got multiple baby daddies, and she showed the math on the screen, how much money she gets from each one. And she thought people were crazy because they asked her why she had multiple baby daddies. So I was like, are you
depends on
kidding?
what state you live in, because that shit ain't here.
Well, apparently her state allowed her to. She was doing the math, and she's like, this is why I have multiple baby daddies. All you women are out there complaining, I make this much from him, this much from him. And she's like, I don't need to do anything. I'm like, wow.
You're a real intelligent chick.
And these yeah, she thought
No wonder you're a cum dumpster.
She thought she was the next Einstein, dude. She's like, I've got it all figured out. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I thought about it this morning. Maybe it was something in these COVID shots or something, but I feel like women have just freaking turned, and I don't know what's going on. Like, they're all trying to be,
clits are getting bigger.
Yeah, that's true. Have you seen that study?
Yeah.
Yes. Have you heard about that?
Surgical.
Have you heard about this? Women's clits are getting bigger. I don't think he's heard about it.
I mean,
yeah, they've been showing. There's a study that came out. I forgot about this actually.
Their clits are getting bigger, or their holes getting bigger.
No, the clit.
What's the clit got to do with the hole?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this: the clits are technically their penis, right? So if we're gonna get into medical here, a clit on a woman is technically their penis. So the more testosterone they have in their system now, I think it's making their clits larger. Have you experienced this?
Did you hear about taints getting smaller too? Men's
Oh
taints,
yes,
yeah.
men's taints are getting smaller also. This is fabulous. These studies that are coming out.
I'm taking the fifth. I'm telling
you, it's all the crap they're putting.
Let's round back to.
Well, this goes back on the cheating. If more women are getting more testosterone in their system, maybe this is why there's an increase in cheating now. Maybe this is why women are more career driven.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Maybe they're more career driven. They're more fucking cheating more, and they're doing all this because there's more testosterone in their system. Their clits are raging and just pulsing, and they're like, I got to get out there. My clit's gonna explode. It's ironic that came out because
you could have forewarned me about this.
It's super ironic that study came out because like the last two girls that I've seen, and one of them was down in FLA, they had large clits.
Well, blame it on me.
No.
I told you I'd get you hooked up. I didn't want to know the details.
Yeah, I mean not like China from WWE clit, but I mean they were larger than usual.
A little nub.
Yeah, and they were early 20s.
What if they're long?
That's what. That's all. You'll see some that are long that are like if you ever looked it up, bodybuilder chicks and shit like that. Bitches are taking testosterone and stuff like that. It becomes a little thing.
You remember China from the WWE, the wrestler? Yeah, she had
I was there. You could probably look it up on one of my sites. I was there and I was like 3-4 seats back from the stage.
You were with China?
No. I was at one of their shows.
Oh, gotcha.
And I said, China, how big's your dick? And everybody started laughing. And so you could probably find it. I'd have to find out what year it was.
Did you see her porno she did?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, well, check that out.
I don't think
your answer's in that flick.
I'm okay.
You'll find your answer, bro.
I'm good.
For sure. But I mean, if you had to think about it, I mean, I'm no doctor, but
no, I'm not a doctor either, but
if
it makes sense.
If increase in testosterone, because I mean,
so why doesn't the why isn't the motivation not there still?
Well, you see some girls are getting hit in the gym and stuff that you see online a lot more, I think, or maybe it's just we think it's a lot more because we have social media now.
No, what I'm saying is why isn't the motivation of the girl there more like it is guys with a lot of testosterone?
Motivation to
going out beating. Well, and that's what I guess that's what we're talking about because there's more cheating. People cheating of women. So yeah, now they're getting out banging dudes.
And in that study, like I said, that the Post did, all these women are telling them, we don't have emotions anymore like people think. We can go around and cheat and have sex with as many guys as we want, and there is no emotional connection, which I think is BS because, like we talked about before, there's pair bonding and women get an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
And they release hormones in their brain that attaches them. And the more women or the more men they have sex with, the less of that hormone gets released.
All right.
Now, does it
or 2 days ago?
I actually had somebody argue with me about that. And I said, just look it up. Look it up. I just
But do you think it could be like, guys just not pleasing women better or as good as they used to?
No. I don't think that's the case.
So some women did mention that as
I mean, you got to look at the same. You got to look at the same thing. Not all women please guys.
No, for sure, but like,
so it doesn't mean every girl pleases a guy every time they have sex. Whether it doesn't matter how horny the guy is, or how much he wants it, or how much he gets it.
Do you know how many women
always please the guy?
Here's a fun fact here. Do you know how many women in the last study I've seen? What percentage of them said that they don't get off during sex? What do you think the number is?
For women or for men?
Women. How many women don't
get off? For women,
65.
I would say probably 25-30% say they don't.
80.
Or wait a minute. I would say 65.
It's 80.
70% say they don't.
80%.
Yeah, that's
80%.
Yeah. Well,
I don't always.
Some people fuck better. Like, I mean, like guys or girls, but I think guys, like, we fuck fat chicks. We fuck girls that aren't that pretty sometimes. Like, I mean, we don't care as much as girls do. We're not as shallow. So it's like, I think our
new
standards.
Yeah. You know what my new fetish is going to be? Women with big clits. So, ladies, if you have an oversized clit,
come on, boy, D.
Send us some email. You know what? Actually, just send us a picture. Just go.
Yeah, just send a pic.
Send a picture, and we'll grade it. We'll see how big it is. We're going by appearance. We're going by color.
Appearance only.
No, I'm gonna have a scale. The color's got to be right.
You're gonna build a scale.
The length's got to be right.
Size. Lips.
If it's long and it's purple, it's no good.
Yeah.
It's extra modifications down there.
I don't know what it is about the color purple, but I just don't take it. Anytime you see something purple, it just reminds me of like being
a black eye. Why do you want a black eye?
A black guy?
A black eye.
Did you ever see that? You watch Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that thing where the guy's telling them about all the ice in Texas? So when a couple years ago when Texas got like frozen over, nobody expected it. So he was like, you should have seen it. There was nothing but trucks going all over the place because they hit nothing. But at the end of the road, there was a bunch of black eyes. There was black eyes all over the place. And he said, how'd the black guy do with that? He said, no, black ice.
Yeah, I do remember that now. That's what.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was like, I don't get it. What did the black guys have to do with it?
Yeah, what does the black guys have to do with what I just said?
Yeah, that's where the joke came from. Because when he said black eyes,
okay,
black eyes, he kept through the whole interview. He thought he was saying black guys.
We got to do something about.
Big clits
about these. Yeah. I saw these tight spandex things on Amazon. Scrolling through and saw it was on when I opened up a web page.
Okay.
And spandex came on with these little machines on each side, and they're called kinklers.
What?
For women that don't know how to do their kinkles, it's a spandex pant or shorts that do their kinkles for them. And tighten that shit up down there.
Kinkles.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
That's another one to add to your dictionary.
Kinkles?
Kinkles. I'm going to put that one down. Kinkles.
Kinky ankles.
How do you spell that?
Kinkles. Kinkles.
That's how I spelled it. Right there. Perfect.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, so let me ask you this. So since we now know, it's been proven by the New York Post, very reputable news. Since it's been proven that women cheat more than men, and they're doing it because they're bored and they're not getting sexually satisfied. So let me ask you, where do you think?
I think that number is going to change.
Where do you think this is going to go in the next 5-10 years, knowing this now? Where do you think relationships are going to be between men and women?
I think.
Let the guest go first here.
Okay.
Knowing what you know now with cheating, where do you think it's going to lead to?
I hope we just revert back to what we are. We're chimps. Chimps are monogamous. I hope we just stop being monogamous and like working against our nature. So I don't think that's what we're intended to do. It's just something we do as intelligent species now. So, made up like some other animals and stuff like that. But we're not supposed to have long-term life partners and stuff like that. That's all stuff that's come by man, created by man and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if that really will happen, but I don't know that guys are going to be putting up with like their girls cheating on them forever and this whole simp thing. I don't think it's going to last forever.
So do you think more guys are going to start simping now that women are cheating, or do you think it's going to be more of like open relationships?
I think it's going to be more open relationships. I think it's going to be more of that. Like too many guys are scared to bring up that topic of it about like another bitch bringing into the relationship, just fucking just, two girlfriends situation or whatever it might be. But I think that'll probably be more common than what it is right now. And yeah, like there'll be less and less of just like, two-party relationships.
Rockstar, what do you think? Next 5-10 years, where do you think it's going to be knowing that women are cheating more?
I think he's got a good head on his shoulder. I agree with a lot of it. I don't think, and I heard earlier today that, people in their mid 20s are already not only on their, third, fourth job, they're on their third, fourth relationship. I think agreeing with him is that I think it's just going to be a free for all.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to, if nothing changes and people don't have self-respect and morals and common sense, I just think it's going to be for a free for all, and everybody just does what they want. And when you hook up with somebody and you're out, or you call them or whatever, you go out, you have a good time, and that's it. Yeah. I don't think relationships. I mean, look today at what Sylvester Stallone and his wife of
25 years,
dozens of years done over. You can't ever. You're nothing. Like you said, nothing is going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. But I think it's getting worse with relationship. Just.
Well, a species of
people go their own ways.
A species of field mice actually partner for.
It's just a bunch of jackrabbits. Let's just be a bunch of jackrabbits.
Yeah, I think we're going to be more like jackrabbits. Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a lot more.
And that's where the attitude comes in. And that's the attitude that comes in from guys and or girls that I just don't give a shit. That's where it's come to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think I agree with both of you on some of those aspects. I think it is going to be more just open, kind of a free for all, people doing what they want to do. You're going to have a lot more open relationships, polyamory. And then I think you will see you're still going to have a lot of simps around that are probably going to be like,
oh yeah, you're definitely going to have that.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you have options.
Don't have as many partners as you want. I'll go to work. I'll pay the bills, but you're just so hot that, if I got to keep you, that's what has to happen. And let's do that.
Yeah.
You're still going to have some of those guys around.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. You're going to have some of them around that have no options, but that's fine. Hey, to each his own.
Well, you know what?
I'm not God. I don't judge. I mean, who am I to judge?
So knowing this,
I can't stand being around myself. How do I expect anybody to stand to be around me?
Yeah, dude, I can't. People think I'm weird because I don't sleep. I can't sleep next to a girl. I can't. And she can sleep in the other room when we're done. But
not in your bed?
Nope.
That's a new one.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Nope. If I'm really nice, I'll swap and she can take the bed. I'll take the couch. But I can't sleep next to anyone. It's probably PTSD from.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's been so long.
Maybe I need professional help. Who knows? But
you might. It's a psychiatrist that needs a psychiatrist.
You're where I want to be. You're like, that was like Genghis Khan shit right there. I'm over here. I got to be cuddled up and shit like that. I'm snuggling a pillow when she's not around.
Yeah, I don't like her sweating all over me and I'm all hot. I can't be hot when I sleep.
You know, my
Well-
mom and her fiance, they sleep face to face.
Oh, geez.
Oh. No.
Talk about morning breath.
yeah. She's.
I mean,
that's not the first thing at all.
I don't have a problem. I can sleep next to a chick at night and, hang out, whatever, but it's been so long.
It's because you're a nice guy.
Sometimes. Don't let that out.
So women nowadays are actually, we talked about this before. We talked about with Sly, the 80-20 rule. So 80% of women are only sleeping with 20% of men in the United States. So if these women are all going and cheating, they're all cheating with the same 20% of men.
Right.
So that's crazy. So it's just going to be circles of the same people sleeping with each other, and then 80% of people down here jerking off.
Yeah, that's good to your sim point. I didn't think about that.
It's absolutely insane. So, you know what I think that's going to lead to, having 80% of people not getting sex. It's going to lead to a lot more people buying escorts, paying for it. People going to other countries, where women will make sandwiches. And then, or I hate to say it, but I think it might be an increase in like mental issues and, people offing themselves. Because I'll tell you what, if I go for a short period without getting any,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
my clit gets huge.
That's where the comes into play.
Yeah. So to wrap this up here, we know everything that's going on now with the story. Women cheat more. They've admitted it. So women, stop telling us that we cheat more, because New York Post, can't argue with them.
New York Post confirmed it. So you gotta believe them.
So where do you guys think, to wrap this up here,
Okay.
in the 5 or 10 years with all this going on, what do you think is going to be the negative of this, and what do you think is going to be the positive?
Of what?
Of women cheating more.
Cheating? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think would be a negative and a positive?
A positive, hopefully that 20% widens up. There's a lot more guys out there getting puss.
That's true.
A negative, a negative. There probably is going to be a lot more suicide and like mental health problems. I think it would be a great thing probably to counteract the possibility with prostitution being legalized and shit like that. We were saying that before the podcast. Oldest profession. Yeah, if somebody has to pay for it to get it, then that's on them. Not me, but that's what they got to do. But if it's gonna keep you from not killing yourself, you absolutely should not kill yourself.
Yeah.
For that. So
yeah.
I think it's definitely gonna be a decline for the guys who have a problem getting it in the first place. It's just gonna be kind of harder.
Well, before I go to you, what we've told a lot of guys that, we try to help out guys all the time with stuff. If you're feeling like that, work on yourself, get your money up, go to Costa Rica, go to Colombia, go to Philippines. Even some of the girls from like Russia and stuff, granted, everyone says, oh, they want a green card. So
yeah,
stay around.
yeah, right.
You get to decide if they get the green card.
That should be a t-shirt. So
yeah, do the 90-day fiance and then kick her back and get another one. But yeah, it's not the end of the world, guys. Get your money up. There's a lot of old and ugly fat guys over there with some hot women I've seen. So it's not the end of the world. Rockstar, what do you think? What's a negative? And
I don't know how to follow that. I mean, I agree. I mean, unless you're a guy that has options, it's probably going to be bad for you. No, I don't ever want to see anybody commit suicide or kill themselves over it, because a woman's not worth that. But on the other sense, you pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
You take them out to dinner, you take them out to the club, or you make a phone call.
Yeah.
So you look, if you're really thinking about committing, please don't. We don't condone that.
No.
But just think about your options. Hey, I
absolutely,
could pick up a phone call, and I could pick up the phone and make a phone call and be happy
Yeah, but some of these guys want that emotional connection with the female.
Yeah, but you can't. You got it. You know what? That's fellas, ladies. That's something you got to get out your head nowadays. The emotions got to go.
Well, the women are doing it. They're working on it. New York Post says so. The women have no emotion anymore.
Either prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That
I think that's BS. I think women are saying they have no emotion to sound like they're more masculine. But I guarantee you,
I can go either way.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I can't stand being around myself. I can't expect anybody to be around me too. So
I hear you.
You either deal with it and get your shit together, or.
So yeah, closing it up, I agree with both of you guys. I think there's going to be a lot of that. Like he said, I hope that 20% does increase, and all these women that are cheating, it starts trickling down to a few more guys, and then it's just going to be everybody just banging like jackrabbits, which is fantastic. I think productivity would go up. I think, if
and they're already talking about babies coming down in statistics too. That's
what I was just going to say.
Come on, jackrabbits, let's get this.
That's what I was gonna say.
Long clits and all.
Yes. But yeah, as a negative, I was gonna say that there's gonna be less babies. It maybe not a negative for everyone.
There are.
Yes, population's already going down, and it's gonna go down even further. Fellas. Yes. So we got to get out there, spread our seed, stroke these long clits.
You want to know something funny? I've been dating this girl for a month. We already tried to kill 5 plan Bs.
I might have a Hey, I've been there before. They stopped serving.
Plan B.
I had to send other people in. All right, you got anything you want to close this up with, Rockstar?
I don't. Other than we've got some new stuff coming out. We're getting our shirts ready. We're getting our cards ready. We're getting everything ready. So we're definitely coming at you. Again, any questions, any thoughts, Toxic Sarcasm Podcast at gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know. Come on the show, and we'll be happy to have you.
Yes, we're going to be doing some more interviews. A lot of people like the interview styles that we're doing. So we're going to get out there. Definitely coming down your way to do some interviews too. Hit the beach up. See some bikinis.
Yes. November, I think. November, right?
Yes. Hopefully, it'd be nice to come before, but definitely November for sure.
Oh.
And I like 3 ways, so I'm trying to do 3 times a year.
I mean, yeah.
Anything you want to close this up with before we head out?
I just want to say thank you guys for both having me. This was incredible. It was fun.
Oh, no problem. And if your lady wants to come on sometime, or she's got friends, we'll get you guys on. We'll have a nice talk. And I would like to do a survey on girls' clits now.
Yes, that you need to get that together. And
yes.
Is there a way we can post it on?
Yeah, we'll post a survey on online.
Post it on our sites.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get that up.
Closing out, I want to say shout out to the big clits.
Yes.
All the big clits out there.
All the BCs.
It's all good.
All right, guys. Like he said, like, follow, share, subscribe. Check out all of our socials. And we are out. Peace.